Hello and welcome back to this course. In the previous video, we were discussing about how do we uh, factor in the revenue. So if you remember in the past, we were looking at making a choice between opening a restaurant in different locations with different ownership models. So for that, we need to understand the revenue, cost of operations, fixed cost, profitability to be able to calculate the ROI for a given capital investments. So in this, so now we are going to start building the models one by one and say, okay, what is the revenue and how we are going to model that. To build the revenue, basically, you need to be able to understand before you are going to model the revenue, you need to understand how many number of customers you can actually expect your business to get. To understand your customers or the guest, you need to understand what is the total addressable market or the captured market that you can get from your customers. So to be able to understand that, you will need to access the total population and calculate the total addressable market. For that, we need to build the model for calculating the total population. Here we have already captured that so that we save time on the typing. So basically, you will need to have a total population which is going to be the downtown market, mall, residential area, and we also will be need to capture the source of information. The source of information is an important understanding because it mean you need to be able to demonstrate how you are getting this information from, what is the source of this particular information which you are going to get. So in each location there can be two type of markets, like residents who are living in the downtown, who are living around the mall, maybe in a 1 kilometer area or a 2 kilometer area of the mall, and how many residents are staying in the residential area. So I have taken the numbers which are based on my guess, but I'm saying that you normally would need to go in to the government records, to the municipality records, to the last population records, and see how many number of peoples are living in that particular area. Now, not all of these will be your market, because some of these peoples may be living for a day and then they go for a job and then come back in the evening. So maybe they are not your target market. But just to be able to understand what is the maximum population, what is the maximum size of the market that you have, you will need to calculate that. Now you can apply this principle to any business wherever you are going to start doing the things, basically, because you need to understand what is the maximum market that you can get, and what is the what is the capturable market that you can get. So here you need to in a good model, you need to identify the source of information, where you are getting this source, because in future when whoever is asking you for the information, where are you getting this particular information, you should be able to explain that easily, so that it's clearer. Then in each area you will have certain maybe residents who are coming into the location, maybe. So we have assumed based on, let's say, 2000, 3000, or residential area maybe 300. This is based on you can base it on the traffic data, you can base it on the car parking data, you can base it on the train data, bus data. If you don't have, if the government or any market research agency does not have any of this data, you can just have somebody stand by at the main entrance of the market or and the mall, and then let them count manually for a day or a week, and then you can populate it. Another thing to note here is what is the metrics that you are going to measure. Now, when we are trying to measure these kind of population or statistics, we should try to get the lowest possible measurement. Means maybe like a daily visitors, monthly visitors, weekly visitors, because once you know lowest possible metrics, you can easily scale it up, right? If you know the daily, you can understand what would be the weekly, what be the monthly, what would be the yearly by just applying the 365. But if you try to speculate for a year or for a 5 year time, first thing, it's very difficult to make the assumptions and substantiate how you are arriving at the number, because that normally the statistics or the market research is done on the lower levels, like per day, per week, per month, not on a 5 year basis or a 1 year basis, right? So that's the easier way to capture it. The next thing you want to do is to get a total. So this will become your total addressable market, right? So this is then what after this addressable market, what we need to understand is what is our capture market, what is the total the target market that we have, and how much of this population is our target market, right? So that will become the that will give us the total addressable market. So let's say our target market is young people's generation who are maybe in the range of 15 to 30. So this one you have to understand from the business that you have or targeting or in your vision or in your concept, so that you can actually understand it. uh, then you have to look at the demographics of these peoples and say how much of this population is belong to your target audience, right? So that will give you a model for that will give you a figure for addressable market. So now you from the total available market, you are going down to the total addressable market. So in then you have to funnel it down from the addressable market to the capturable market. So you can first see how much is the current capture. So how you are going to get the current capture market, you have to identify the what is the total capture market in this area. So maybe out of all the restaurants in the downtown market, all the restaurants in malls, all the restaurants in the residential area, how much per day customer they are able to collect, and what is the capturable market. Then once you then you will be able to get an idea of how much you should be able to capture it. But you cannot capture 100% market, right? This is capturable market, this is total addressable market. The difference usually means that either these peoples are not, at the moment, not interested, or the products are not interested, but these are potential, right? So whenever we are trying to make a business plan, we need to show the total addressable market, so that the investors or the you yourself can assume what is the maximum potential of growth in each area, what has already been captured, and what are the new opportunities for your business to be able to capture. There are two ways where you can as a business can capture the value. Means either you compete with the existing peoples who are existing capture by providing a better value, by providing a lower cost, means competing with them, right? Or the other way is kind of blue ocean strategy, where you have to create a completely new market, completely new product. Maybe out of this total addressable market, you may be having to say, okay, I maybe expand my market to the total available market, means try to capture every one of them. But that's a different strategy, and that's a different course to understand what are those strategies and how we can build that. We stick to the financial model here for the time being. So what you need to now understand is, this is if this is total addressable market, how much market share you are expecting, right? How much market share do you think you are going to get out of this market, or out of your total addressable market, if you have a new product, right? So you need to say, okay, our target market is going to be, let's say you assuming that if, let's say, the captured market is already 1000, means 30% already, you are going to get 10% market share, or maybe 5% market share of your country. Now, as we have discussed earlier, it is per day again. As we have discussed earlier, usually you should not use the percentages in the formulas here. This is a bad practice, because here you will see target market and capture market, there is no relationship, right? So basically you should say, okay, my target market to capture is maybe 6% in this case. Maybe if I'm in a downtown mall, I may be having a different concept and I may be able to capture, let's say, 10% market here, because maybe the based on your competition and competition analysis, doing your SWOT analysis with the competition, you may be able to say, okay, the competition in downtown market is high because there are a lot of high established shop. Mall maybe is not yet there, or you think you can build a better product. Maybe in residential area, maybe you can say, okay, I can capture maybe 15% market in this in years. So now you will be able to say how much market, how much target market that you think you can capture. So number of estimated hours per day. So here you can say, okay, now I get it. I have a formula. So here this model is able to give you a very easier way to establish the relationship, how you are coming at this number of covers, right? So now in this model we have got the number of customers, so you can start to build it. Number of customers, got it. And you can link the revenue from the number of year 1 to 5. This is your daily revenue, so you can say, okay, now I can build up in this model. This is daily revenue per day, revenue per month, revenue per year. And then you can say, okay, if in the day I can get maybe 30, and then for a year I can get 12. So this is how much will be my monthly revenue or a per year revenue, and then you can build it up into this. Maybe you can say is we are just talking about the year one, so per year, then you can link it. So now here you say, okay, year one, um, first year, just we focus on the first year first, and then we can combine it into the 5 years as a separate analysis, separate consideration. So now here you will see that total revenue is coming. The next thing we have to model is the price. How much price do we think we can charge? So the price is going to have a different model. How you are going to set up the price? You can continue in this sheet, or you can create another sheet. It's up to entirely you how you feel comfortable. I would put everything at this point of time in this thing. Another thing that we forgot to mention here is that whatever in the past we used to discuss, whatever is input means whatever is the key in, you should be highlighting that with another color, so that you know actually what are the inputs that you need, that you are filling in and are not automatically generated, so that it's easier for you to when you are revisiting the model in the future, you can always go back and say, okay, these are my assumptions or these are my key ins. If I need to adjust my model, how much of this I am gonna need to review or change or update, right? So these are your assumptions. The rest of the numbers are going to be the formulas, so you don't have to really adjust that. So then it's easier for you to understand what is my key in, what is my calculated formula. So that has to be separate so that it's easier in the future to understand. Now, we were trying to build up a model for pricing. How do we set up the prices? The prices usually, if you have a business understanding, you say, okay, price model, right? Let us continue in this sheet. You can create a separate sheet if you wish to. There's no problem with that, but less number of sheets is giving us a more clarity. So in this sheet we will be calculating the entire revenue. So price model basically means that how you are going to set up the prices. So in this case, usually if it's a restaurant, means it has a multiple number of items. Then you cannot set up the price for each and everything. Basically what you would say is, what are your signature item, what is the main thing that you are going to sell or will be driving maybe 50% or 60% or 70% of your revenue. Every restaurant has some signature items. so that we can start to compare how much is the average price that you will be able to charge from your customers. Now there may be other ancillary services or other products. If you have, let's say, two or three signature products, then you have to calculate all the two and three, and then we can capture the average of how much would be the average spending in these three locations. So that's we are going to learn in the next video.